HarperCollins presents Finding Belle by Reeta Chakrabarti, read by Dinita Gohil. To Paul, Daniel, Roxana, and Leon. I dreamed that you bewitched me into bed, and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. I think I made you up inside my head. Mad Girl's Love Song. Sylvia Plath. Prologue. After Mama lost the baby, and then lost herself, I had a vivid and terrifying dream. It was nighttime, and she was in a boat, being rowed by men I didn't recognize. The men were not sinister, but their silence was eerie as they rowed in unison, their oars rising and dipping in perfect rhythm. The water around them was on fire, great gusts of blaze lighting up the sky, and I was in another boat while Mama was rowed further and further away from me. "Mama! Mama!" I screamed, my panic rising as Mama slowly grew smaller and more distant. She made no reply and sat passively in the boat as I screamed and screamed again. I woke myself up, sweating with terror, and rushed next door for comfort, even though Mama was in no fit state to help me. For years, even deep into adulthood, I remembered the nightmare vividly, as a warning and a premonition. Part 1, 1979. Chapter 1. The voices down below began as a distant rumble, like a drum roll of approaching thunder. Mama's voice grew louder and louder, and then hit a peak that was shrill and sharp, letting out a stream of curses and insults. In fact, it was the opposite of a storm, the thunder first, and then the strikes of lightning. Daddy responded with a steady murmur, too low to be distinct. I strained to hear him, leaning forward close to the banister, mindful of the loose spindle that he hadn't mended, hugging my knees tightly. I sat halfway down the stairs where I could follow most of the row, but then beat a hasty retreat if either of them emerged. The naked light bulb in the hall shone harsh and white. Adele was propped up stiffly next to me, her blue eyes fixed and staring, the two of us, partners in this illicit listening in. Mama's voice rose again sharply. "You are completely free of duty," she was yelling. "No duty, no care. You parade yourself and shut me up and cut me off." More words followed in that funny language she would use sometimes. "Shaitan! Badmash! You flaunt yourself and shut me up here with no love, no care." She seemed to be crying. "I was a famous beauty, you know, and I have no value to you. You shaitan! You bastard!" I didn't know what bastard meant either, but I quickly covered Adele's ears. Daddy's grave, gravelly tones came through the door. It was frustrating that I couldn't fully hear him, but I knew he must be saying the right thing. I could feel my heart beating fast with worry and excitement. The row was alarming, but also, at some level, thrilling. Naturally, I would have preferred family harmony, but I found other people's fights compelling, even if they were my own parents. Besides, this was becoming a regular event. Mama's voice rose again, so shrill that I covered my own ears for protection. "Why do you strut and fut like that, like a peacock? You think you are so big. Shameless man. Always, look this way, look at me, and no duty for your wife. No duty to me." I clutched Adele and tried to cuddle her unyielding limbs. Her stiff hair still smelt of the factory, but I found it comforting. Everything familiar was comforting at this moment. The worn brown carpet on the step, the hot smell of my knees as I hugged myself, even the large cobweb in the corner. All these things were in their place, even if Mama was beside herself. I heard a movement below, a signal that the fight had run its course, and I slipped soundlessly upstairs, mindful not to knock Adele against the wall and give us away. I got into bed and arranged myself and my doll in an attitude of sweet sleepiness. Daddy would probably be in soon. Sure enough, a few minutes later, a light went on in the hallway, and he put his head around the door. He was still in his suit from work, his tie pin glinting in the light. He must have...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?